Schiff, How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. Dive into the engaging book summary of How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes by Peter and Andrew Schiff. The summary explores the foundations of economics through a simple allegory of three fishermen on an island and effortlessly progresses to a thought-provoking critique of modern economic policies. In an easy-to-understand and entertaining manner, you will gain insight into fiscal challenges, the dangers of uncontrolled spending, and the consequences of detaching currency from real assets. This summary promises to enhance your understanding of complex economic ideas by breaking them down into accessible concepts and offering a unique perspective on the global economic landscape.
The roots of current economic woes. Economists failed to prevent financial busts while Keynesian policies fostered easy credit and massive indebtedness. Schiff's solution was an emphasis on sound money, limited government, low taxes, and personal responsibility. The island economy. Three men living on a basic island with just one food source, fish, had to rely on catching fish by hand, but it was not enough, and they could only have one fish per day. However, by underconsuming temporarily, Abel invented the net and soon produced 2 fish per day. Abel's productivity helped grow the island economy by being able to loan extra fish to others that resulted in them borrowing, producing more fish and paying him back. The advance in the supply meant that some men could reduce their time on fishing and pursue different interests. The saved fish helped to prepare for unpredictable reasons such as the monsoons that occurred around the island, so the men did not have to start from scratch. The economics of island life. In this book, the author presents a fictional story of Abel, Baker, and Charlie who developed a thriving economy on their island. They started by sharing resources and ultimately created a service economy. As the island prospered, they established a government funded by a fish tax. The story highlights the importance of specialization, deflation, private capitalism, and prudent lending practices. The author also criticizes government policies that penalize savers and reward spenders. Overall, the book demonstrates how basic economic concepts can be applied to real-life situations. The Story of Fishflation. A devastating storm lays waste to a prosperous island, leaving its inhabitants in the grip of a crippling fish shortage. Desperate for a solution, Frankie Deep issues a new currency backed by fish reserves, but this only leads to the devaluation of the currency and the establishment of a fishing department to manage the reserves. As a result, the cost of fish, and inflation, increases, causing economic chaos within the community. However, salvation arrives in the form of a neighboring island's desire to purchase Usonia's notes, restoring cheap borrowing, leading to further outsourcing and the emergence of a consumer-driven society. The rise and fall of Usonia's wealth. Usonia's economy relies heavily on the value of fish, and their financial and political clout allows them to issue fish reserve notes to other islands. Slippery Dixon, the new leader, breaks the fish standard, causing the currency's value to drop, and is eventually caught up in the water snake scandal. His successor, Ruffy Redfish, liberalizes trade policies and lowers taxes but continues to overspend. Usonian bankers see an opportunity to lend freely to buyers of island huts, and soon everyone can afford one. However, the economy eventually crashes when the hut market becomes oversaturated, causing prices to fall, and businesses to fail. Sinopeans stop buying fish reserve notes, causing hyperfishflation and leaving Usonians with no savings or assets. The book warns about the inefficiencies of government involvement in lending and the dangers of relying on a single commodity for economic growth. The currency and debt crisis. Governments worldwide are separating their currencies from their real assets, printing money and heading towards economic disaster with national debts exploding. America's debts are held by other countries, and only the US dollar's reserve currency status allows the unchecked flow of US Treasury notes. Tax increases and spending cuts offer little relief as they depress productivity and the economy, affecting public services. The only politically convenient option seems to be defaulting on foreign creditors. The path of uncontrolled spending will lead to hyperinflation, devastating economies. Addressing these issues demands politicians and voters to accept tough realities.
Having journeyed through the evolution of the island's economy in the summary of How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes, we have gleaned important lessons on the importance of productivity, capital formation, and sound financial policies. The Schiff brothers expertly use the parable of the three fishermen to highlight the far-reaching consequences of unsustainable spending, excessive debt, and detached currency values. As the cautionary tale comes to an end, we are reminded of the need for prudent economic policies and genuine introspection on our present financial practices. By understanding and acknowledging the hard truths of our economic systems, we can work towards a more stable and prosperous future for all.